One of the suspects charged in last year's shooting at R.G. Reynolds High School will face a judge today. A student was shot in the leg back on December 10th, and 5 people are charged in this case, including 3 teenagers. This includes 22-year-old Moises Ocampo, who is facing multiple charges, including possession of stolen property. He is due in court today. We're told none of the suspects are students at the school.
A triad family facing multiple charges for insurance fraud and attempting to obtain property by false pretense. Authorities in Forsyth and Guilford counties charged Annie and Felicia Wagner of Winston-Salem and Trayvon Wagner of High Point. Now, according to investigators, the trio made several false claims on their state property rental property policy from December 2023 to August of 2024. Authorities say Trayvon submitted several of these requests under different names. Annie made her first court appearance yesterday. Felicia is set to appear in court later this month, and Trayvon is scheduled to appear in court next month. A Winston-Salem man is now formally charged with killing a woman whose body was found in a field in Davidson County. James Bruton had his first court appearance yesterday morning. He's accused of killing 39-year-old Juana Gomez at their shared home on Stockton Street on Saturday before dumping her body along Gumtree Road. Bruton has a lengthy criminal history, we found. This includes a second-degree murder charge in Scotland County in 1997, as well as other assault charges. The relationship between Bruton and Gomez, though, is still unclear. Bruton is being held without bond and is due back in court next month. In our nation's capital now, work continues to recover wreckage from last Wednesday's mid-air crash between an American Airlines jet and an Army helicopter near Reagan National Airport. The 67 people all on board died. Now, the Army Corps of Engineers says their goal today is to recover the plane's cockpit. Yesterday, they recovered the first of the 2 engines, pieces of the fuselage, and a wing from the jet. 2 black boxes were recovered last week. The NTSB is expected to release more detailed findings from the recovered flight data and voice recorders after they are analyzed.
Every piece of information is critical to the investigation, and so the NTSB is about transparency. So when we can provide that, I think that'll be helpful to provide some additional context and what we're looking at in this investigation.
A preliminary report from the NTSB is expected in about a month.
A preliminary report on the deadly collision involving a medical jet in Philadelphia is also expected in the next 30 days. This Northeast Philly neighborhood is still shut down as investigators sift through the debris after this explosion. The 6 people on board the plane died, as well as 1 man in a car hit by this. At least 24 others were injured. The NTSB is now analyzing the plane's black box, which was found at the impact site 8 feet inside of a crater. 6:05 now. A trade war with 2 top U.S. allies is averted for now.
But overnight, the White House did slap new tariffs on imported goods coming from China, and leaders in that country are responding.
Alice Barr has the latest.
You're seeing that what's happened just in
minutes after President Trump's 10% tariff on all Chinese imports took effect overnight, the Chinese government retaliating, announcing a new 15% tariff on U.S. coal and liquefied natural gas and a 10% tariff on U.S. products from crude oil to pickup trucks. While on another front, President Trump announced a 30-day delay in 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada after both agreed to beef up border security, Mexico sending troops.
10,000 soldiers at their side of the border and stop fentanyl and illegal aliens from coming into our country.
Canada promising a new fentanyl czar while moving ahead with a previously announced $1.3 billion to reinforce its border, sending 10,000 frontline personnel. That amid a brewing standoff over the power of President Trump's cost-slashing ally Elon Musk. The White House designating the world's richest man a special government employee with top-secret security clearance, giving him access to sensitive government systems like Treasury Department payments.
Well, he's got access only to letting people go that he thinks are no good if we agree with him.
Musk looking to let a lot of people go at the U.S. Agency for International Development, which delivers critical food, medicine, and humanitarian support to 60 countries. Proponents say shoring up national security. Musk argues there's too much waste in the agency's $42 billion budget, pressing to shut it down.
Elon Musk did not create USAID. He doesn't have the power to destroy it.
Democratic lawmakers fighting to save an organization that is authorized and funded by Congress.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio said yesterday he was acting administrator of USAID, then named a top State Department official to run the long independent body and begin a 90-day review. Secretary Rubio says core life-saving programs will not be frozen during that time. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.